Welcome to the Misha Wilson Show, where we show you how to create massive success online so you can enjoy the lifestyle of your wildest dreams.
Hey, if you want to discover the right way to set goals that firstly inspire you into a state of action, but then secondly, allow you to keep taking action consistently, predictably to actually get to your end goal, stick around and watch today's video through until the very end, as I'm about to share with you my two-part goal setting process that allows me to firstly get excited about the end goal, and then secondly, stick to the actual action plan. As always, if this is your first video, my name is Misha Wilson, and over the course of the last few years, I've now done many millions of dollars in sales online. I've helped many students get their business off the ground for the very first time. And today's video will be brought to you based on actual experience and not just theoretical kind of sort of this might work if you do it knowledge. As always, if you get value, please let me know in the comment section below what your biggest takeaway was. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button below this video. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so what I want to talk about here today is firstly, two different types of goals that a lot of people kind of tend to teach and focus on. And then my approach that allows me to essentially kind of get the best of both worlds. That allows me to firstly get excited about where I'm going, which I personally believe is absolutely critical. And then secondly, allows me to actually execute on a daily basis, which obviously is critical because if you don't execute, you don't get ultimately to the end goal. So firstly, what are the normal types of goals that people kind of teach to set, right? And there's really two camps usually when it comes to goals. There are the SMART goal people, right? Specific, measurable, attainable results and time bound, right? And usually what a SMART goal is it's a small goal that is very attainable, but also not necessarily that exciting, all right? So I remember when I was first getting started online, I had mentors that were super smart and they ended up, adding a ton of value to my life and they helped me to get my business off the ground. So all credit to them. But they taught the SMART goal methodology and the SMART goal approach. And I remember I wrote my SMART goal down of, going from $0 to $7,500 a month or whatever it was. And I wrote it down and I got, specific and it's measurable and it was attainable. It was $7,500 a month. It was results and time bound. It was all the things, right? But when I looked at it, I was like, holy shit, I don't want to go through all the fucking work to start a freaking business, to take all the risk of starting a business, to, invest in this coaching program, to do all this stuff that I'm about to do to make freaking $7,500 a month, right? I'm not scoffing at that. If you're at a point where that would change your life, I've been there. It wasn't long ago, I was $10,000 in debt and kicked out of a tiny apartment where my rent was literally $380. So I can completely relate. But at the same time, making $7,500 a month was just not my ultimate, that's what I want to achieve. That's my big goal, right? I always had, for one crazy reason or another, in the back of my head, I want millions, right? I want to do tens of millions in sales. And I want to grow $1 million a month company. And I want to hit this income goal and that income goal. And I want to build this type of company. And I want to compete with these people who were industry leaders at the time that I had no business thinking about maybe competing with, right? But that is the type of goal that excited me to get me to a point to take inspired action to actually execute. And so again, that's the first type of goal, the SMART goal, right? And that's for me the problem with them. If you just set a SMART goal and it's like, all right, I want to go from $0 to $5,000 a month, again, not scoffing at it, but at the same time, for me, it wasn't enough to get me excited and fired up and kind of really, once again, taking action on a daily basis. Now, the other type of goal is what I just mentioned, right? It's more of a stretch goal. And a stretch goal is, all right, I'm at $0, but I want to ultimately get to a $10 million a year business. So if you're at $0 with zero skill sets, you don't know how to do anything when it comes to an online business, you don't know how to manage people, you don't know how to create a culture within your business, you don't know how to really do anything business related, and you want to get to $10 million a year, that's definitely a freaking stretch goal, right? Now, the problem with the stretch goal is usually you will just think about that stretch goal. And so no matter which action steps you take and no matter what progress you make on your journey, because you aren't to your stretch goal, which might take 5 years, 10 years for you to ultimately achieve, because you aren't there yet and you're comparing yourself to that stretch goal, you are naturally always left in a state of feeling let down, left in the state of feeling like you're failing, and left in a state where you're not necessarily, doing the things to get you to your stretch goals yet. And those are kind of the two types of goals and the problems with the goals. Now, you might guess what kind of works for me. What works for me and what allowed me to ultimately get to my stretch goal is to have a combination of both. All right. So what I need the macro goal. I need the stretch goal. I need the big result that I'm looking for. All right. I want to build a business that competes with this business that I have, no business thinking I can compete with. I want to build a business that's going to do $1 million a month. When I was at zero, that was still my stretch goal, right? I need that big goal to be inspired to take action on a daily basis. If I don't have that big goal, I feel like it's not worth working towards. Now, at the exact same time, what I also realized in my journey is I need to set the micro goals that allow me to ultimately get towards the macro goals. And then I need to track my micro successes to know that I'm on the right path towards getting to my macro goal. All right, so as an example, look, my goal is to make $1 million a month, get the business to $1 million a month. And that was literally my goal when I was at zero. That said, I still first, before I was thinking about getting to $1 million a month, or even when I was thinking about it, I set the goal of, all right, I'm at zero now, I need to get to $10,000 a month first. Because when I get to $10,000 a month, I'll then be able to do these things, and then these things will allow me to have more leverage, which can then help me to get closer to $100,000 a month, which then will give me more leverage to get to ultimately my end goal of $1 million a month. And so what I did is I took that big stretch goal, I reverse engineered it, and I broke it down into micro goals. I want to make $1 million a month. First, I got to make $100K a month. Before I make $100K a month, I got to make $50K a month. Before I make $50K a month, I got to get to $10K a month. Before I get to $10K a month, I got to get to $5K a month. And then I figured out all of the various activities that allowed me to get to that first micro goal to allow me to ultimately get to my macro stretch goal. And then I just focus on executing on the micro things on a daily basis. All right. So one example, creating content, right? Doesn't seem like when you're first getting started, I want to make $1 million a month. Let's do YouTube videos. Probably not going to get you there, right? But it is a micro thing that you do that ultimately long-term helps you get to that stretch macro goal, right? Emailing your list. When you have a list of 100 people, you want to make $1 million a month, emailing 100 people, probably not going to get you to $1 million a month. But if you never get in the habit of emailing your list, then you grow your list, you have a list of 200,000 people, which can definitely help you get to that stretch goal of $1 million a month. If you don't know how to email your list, you'll never ultimately get there. And so what I found, what I teach my students is set the big goal, set the stretch goal, set the macro goal, but at the same time, reverse engineer and figure out what micro goals you need to hit first in order to go ahead and get to the macro goal. And then also figure out what micro action steps you need to take to go ahead and hit those micro goals. And then all you do is you focus on executing on the micro action steps and you focus on tracking the micro goals. Do not track the big goal, all right? Because if you execute and you do a video and you write the email list and you do all those things on a daily basis and you get to $5,000 a month and you're looking, you're saying, God damn, I'm still not at $1 million a month. Guess what? You're gonna feel very let down. Where if you set the first goal of, I wanna be at $5,000 a month, you do all these things, when you get to that goal, recognize it, be happy that you're there, and know that you're on the path to your stretch goal. That will keep you in a state of consistently executing on the right things, consistently having a positive reinforcement mechanism when it comes to executing on the micro action steps. And ultimately, the only way to get to a macro goal is to take micro actions on a daily basis. And then of course, focus on applying leverage. So with that said, leverage, that'll be a topic for another day. I hope you got a ton of value out of this video. Remember, sit down, set the macro goal, set the micro goals, set the micro action steps, execute on the micro action steps, track the progress when it comes to micro goals, understanding that it'll help you get to the big stretch macro goal. Hope you got a ton of value out of today's video. If you did, please let me know in the comment section below what your biggest takeaway was. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button below this video.